Inside Obstacle News. Welcome to Inside Obstacle News. I'm your host, Dirty Getty. Got lots of big announcements and news on the show tonight, including interviews with Damien of Mud Run Fun and Daniel McCurdy from Epic Arena and Ultra OCR. But the big news that came out Thursday morning was the announcement from Reebok and Spartan Race of their big partnership. Now, we don't know what exactly this entails, but it's going to be a multi-year deal, and we're hoping that it'll bring more prize money to the sport, maybe TV deals, maybe more recognition for specific athletes, and higher level, higher profile pros. But whatever it is, it seems like it's a good deal. Now, back in 2011, Tough Mudder had partnered with Under Armour, and they announced it was a $70 million multi-year deal. So we don't know any dollar amounts coming out of the Reebok deal, but we're hoping that, it will definitely bring bigger prize money, maybe some TV deals, get some OCR on the TV, and more spectators and higher profile. So it seems like it should be a good thing. Now, some people have said, hey, what about CrossFit and Reebok? Some people don't like the where CrossFit and Reebok went and how it kind of changed the sport of CrossFit. But from where we stand in such early beginnings and so many players in the pot, I think that it can only be a good thing. Also, at the Times Square event this morning, there was Spencer Hendel, is the current CrossFit champion, who managed to edge out Hobie Call in their small obstacle race right there down in Times Square. Now, considering there wasn't really any running involved, which is kind of Hobie's specialty on top of the obstacles, I don't know exactly how he got beat, but it seems like a pretty small contest. So maybe somebody who was there could give me more information. Also, Tiki Barber was there from the New York Giants. Brooklyn Decker, supermodel, tried her hand at the Spartan obstacles, and she did all right. Also, Team Extreme was there for demonstrations, and a lot of inspiration coming out of that. And also, it just seemed like it was a lot of fun, and I wish I could have been there. It seemed like a big announcement, and the Twitterverse was blowing up this morning. So if you didn't catch that, and it's already Sunday night and you're watching this and you're thinking, wow, I must be living in a hole. But anyway, moving on. Superhero Scramble Miami was last weekend, and we had winners Hunter McIntyre in the Scramble Gamble for the men and Angela Cobb coming out for the women to win the cash. Superhero Scramble also has a 2013 points series going on, and right now the current leaders are Michael Napoles and Monique Salazar. Now, the superhero points are different than the Spartan points, and you can go to their website to kind of learn more about it, but it's a little less confusing. You just take the winner's time, divide it by your time, and times 500. And then the top 4 races count towards your points. And if there's a night wave or a morning wave, open, scramble, gamble, you can get up to 3 points races within a single day. So it seems like it's going to be a lot of fun, and they're offering cash, so that's a great thing. The next race coming up is going to be for Spartan SoCal on January 26th. And then also for Tough Mudder this weekend is going to be in Melbourne. So those are the big races and the big announcements and news coming up in obstacle racing. And we look forward to hearing more. Always, you can follow us on Twitter and Facebook to get the most up-to-date news, since this is not a live taping. So next we're going to go to my first interview with Damien of Mud Run Fun. So here's Damien from Mud Run Fun. Damien, tell me a little bit about yourself and how you got started in mud running.
Well, basically, as you said, I'm Damien. I'm the original founder of Mud Run Fun. Right now, me and my wife both kind of contribute a real lot to the mud running community. Started here down in Central Florida, The first run we did was June 2011. It's called Champions Mud Bash.
Okay.
And it was actually, the run didn't turn out so good, but we didn't know any better. We thought it was like the greatest thing in the world. We saw people running around in costumes. It really inspired us to start looking at fitness slightly different than your standard gyms and a street 5Ks and stuff like that. Which before that I was zero fitness at all. I just pretty much worked and that's pretty much it. Worked and came home and worked. So it's been an interesting ride so far.
And you, on your Facebook page, it says you're the CEO of Mud Run Fun. Is that kind of like a full-time job for you, or what do you do for your regular job?
Well, basically what Mud Run Fun does as a company, I normally don't talk too much about the company aspect of it, but pretty much it's a website that advertises for race directors.
Sure.
So we put up banner ads, posts. We have an Android application, a Facebook application where we share promo codes throughout the nation right now. We pretty much base specifically in North America. We don't go really outside the country right now. I think there's enough just here in Florida. It keeps us pretty busy. It's not a full-time job. I mean, as much as I'd like it to be a full-time job, getting there. It's getting there. So
excellent. Yeah, I mean, well, I didn't really even know that much about the website, because from just, Matt B. Davis runs and just photos on Facebook and things like that, it just seemed like you guys were a big group of people that just love doing mud runs. How many do you have, membership, or is it just a bunch of people that love to get together?
No, there's no membership. It actually all started with down Superhero Scramble. Our leader for our male elite team, his name is Joe Rivera. He was actually one of the first people who really kind of took to us as a group, like a team. He actually took a sign out, and he even he drew it with permanent marker. It said Mud Run Fun on it. He put it on his car and said, "Let's meet up at this race." And we all met up, and we started meeting up from there. It was like 4 or 5 people. Now, normally it's over 50. It's like 50 to about 90 people on pretty much almost every race now. There's so many races down here in Florida. I mean, it's like every weekend too. So it's always a different a group. So everyone can't make every race, but we do our best to make every race just to see everybody. So even if we don't run, we'll make it like a nice social event. So.
That's awesome. The community that seems to come around, it doesn't even matter what race it is, Tough Mudder or Spartan or Warrior Dash. It seems like, everybody's starting to form these kind of, groups, Mud Run Fun, and I've heard of Weeple Army and Asian Armor and stuff like that. And so are there other Mud Run Funners outside of Florida?
Yeah, we have Huntington Beach in California. There was a small group started. They went out to the Glow Run. If you go to mudrunfun.com, the video section, they actually posted a video from, which is pretty cool to see the Mud Run Fun logos and shirts out there. Total opposite side of the country.
Yeah.
There's people that travel around and do the events, and they represent Mud Run Fun at different locations. We have some representation from Matthew Ultra Beast Delinsky over at Ultra Beast, which was really cool. We get it up in Georgia from time to time. Of course, we get a lot of shout-outs from people in the community, like Mud and Adventure, and Matt B. Davis runs, as well as other websites that are similar. I think it's good because it looks like we all tend to stick together close. I mean, we all know each other now, It's kind of a small community that's just starting to expand. So those of us who've been here a while, I mean, eventually at some point you see each other at an event somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. So, what's like the future for Mud Run Fun? Like, where do you want to see it go?
I'd like Mud Run Fun to pretty much try to get into every aspect of obstacle course racing, mud running. You see the term's been changing slowly over the last year. Originally, you would never hear the word obstacle course racing in the beginning. It was more, hey, have you heard of that thing called mud runs? And now the term's changing to more obstacle course racing as things getting a lot more competitive. And obviously bigger sponsors are starting to come in now too. So, I think that as a whole, I'd like to be involved in everything. involved in the competitive side, not as per running, but as per helping organize Obstacle Race Magazine. I've heard is going to attempt to bring leagues here. I mean, I'm down to completely help. I'll help them organize that. I think it's a good thing for all of us.
Well, it seems like your elite team did pretty well at the recent Superhero Scramble as well. So.
Yeah, our female team did excellent. I actually didn't expect much less of the female team at all. So they train really hard for what they do. And our male team there, obviously a lot of people got lost in the woods. And, I really wish we could go back and do that race over again, and I'm sure everyone agrees with that. But, it is what it is. It happens a lot, especially to the elite racers. They run so fast, they miss turns all the time. I mean, it's pretty common. I mean, I went to 30-some races last year, and I'm sure that someone in the elite group that we run has got lost at least one time almost every race. Someone does. Someone always gets lost. So, especially when you got tight trails in the woods and, tight mountain bike trails that split off, and our trails that are close to, together intersecting. Dirt bike tracks are real common for that too, or where they cross the tracks and people end up turning the wrong way, and but eventually when there's money at the table, which in most cases there's not, I mean there needs to be a lot more organization in that, a lot more people writing down bib numbers at checkpoints and stuff like that. It's coming. It's going to have to come, because you can't throw too much money at the table and expect people to want to run if there's no rules, if there's no regulations. It's kind of like a free-for-all right now in most of these events.
Yeah, I really like what they're doing in Australia, and I've talked with Adam McDonald of Obstacle Racing Magazine, and they've got a good model down there. And in the U.S., it seems to always be history repeating itself. It's like the Wild Wild West out here. We've got a couple of big companies that are kind of just doing whatever they want, and they obviously are putting on great events because they're really popular. But at the same time, how is that going to relate to going into obstacle racing and the Olympics and things, and how are we going to put together leagues that are, like you said, have obvious rules and distances, and I think Spartan's really trying to work at that, and so is Superhero. So we'll see. We'll see if anybody can work together for those kind of goals. What did you think? Oh, go ahead.
It's going to be important. Well, during league races, think about it. If you got leagues, they're all going to have to work together, and they're all going to have to abide by the same rules. If you got a standardized league, it's going to be interesting. I can't wait. I'm actually extremely excited about that. But myself, I'm not competitive. I'm a fun runner.
Sure.
Half the time I'll go out there, I'll find someone in my group that either can't run or they want to run, they just don't think they can, and normally I'll stay with them. People will take photos, stuff like that, and then we'll go do a second lap later, carrying something, or just to do a second lap for fun. I'm more of a fun runner than anything else. So.
Now, speaking of, you just mentioned some photos, and you guys, a couple of people recently put out the Bad Boys of Obstacle Racing, and whose idea was that, and how did that come about?
Well, I was contacted by Matt B. Davis about it, and asked if I was interested, and then I got with Kevin from, I'm sorry, I can't pronounce his last name, so, basically I got with Kevin, and from there we just started kind of building it and collecting pictures and stuff. It's definitely an interesting project. Imagining what people thought, saying, "Hey, can you come here and take a picture of me?" Yeah, I'm gonna wear this and I'm gonna do this, and I know it's probably interesting for my wife to say, "Tell her I'm gonna go lay in the woods. I need you to take some pictures." But it's definitely a fun project, and I hope to be more involved with projects like that.
Yeah, it was definitely a cool thing, and I didn't actually see the Ladies of Spartan calendar. That I'm assuming it was kind of a rip on a little bit, but did you see that calendar? I didn't see it.
I actually seen it after I was told about the project, because I was like, well, I never really seen the calendar, so and when I looked at it, I thought, oh, well, we could easily mock this. Like the way it's got the red like blood on there and stuff, and we could just change the colors of everything and kind of redo it a little bit, make it pink and more fun, and I think it's interesting. So,
yeah, it's definitely, it just goes to the spirit of the whole thing and just and having fun and stuff like that. What do you think about the big news today, the whole Reebok sponsorship and Spartan and stuff like that?
I've had talks with people within Mud Run Fun that, eventually we're going to see big sponsorship, and who's it going to be was the question. And was it going to be Coca-Cola? Or, is there going to be fountain drinks at the end of the finish lines with Coke at some point?
Yeah.
Or who's it going to be? And I was pretty surprised to see it was Reebok. So I didn't know that's what the announcement was going to be for sure. I mean, I didn't think it was going to be that. I really didn't know what they were going to do, but I think it's going to change the game. I think money's going to start flowing now in the industry, big money, not like, you go to race and win $1,000. I think a lot more money is going to start flowing through the industry, and it's going to attract a lot more competitive runners, I'm sure. And then, a lot of races might even end up in the future being more competitive than fun. I can foresee it happening to some races, them strictly marketing on competitive side instead of fun runner side. Then some just do fun runner side without the competitive side. I mean, who knows? I mean, it could go any direction right now. Really, the sponsors have control of it, So, I mean...
Yeah, I mean, it's nice. It's nice with Reebok, at least they've got like CrossFit and they sort of understand, the whole fitness-minded thing. Some people would say, I'm not that into CrossFit, so I wouldn't know, but some people have said maybe Reebok kind of changed CrossFit and how it, related to the athletes or something like that. So, it'll be interesting, but I definitely agree, putting more money out there, getting, more pros and things like that, and getting, airtime on television and things like that is going to make a huge difference for the sport. Because so many people obviously already enjoy it. It just is a natural flow to just continue to grow and get out there more. But
it's going to blow up. I mean, It's going to massively blow up now. There's probably going to be reality TV shows about it. I bet they're already in the makings right now.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Occasionally I see giant video cameras at races locally, and I'm thinking, what are they doing here? And it's like, who are they? And they're walking around following people around. I mean, eventually I'm sure we're going to start seeing it all over the place, which is good, because that's what's going to make it real. That's what's going to make it, a sport. A lot of people have been working towards that since the beginning. It's going to be exciting for sure.
Well, that's all the time that we have for today. I apologize we couldn't, chat more. It's always fun to get to meet people and do these kind of interviews, and I can't wait to see what you do with Mud Run Fun, and hopefully, we'll see you up in the Northeast sometime.
All right, cool, man. Thanks.
All right. Well, thanks again.
Thanks for having me on. It's awesome, man.
All right. Thanks again, Damien from Mud Run Fun.
Yep, Mud Run Fun!
All right, thanks, Damien, for being on the show. Next up, we have Daniel McCurdy of Epic Arena and Ultra OCR. Let's hear what he has to say. All right, so here with me next is Daniel McCurdy from Ultra OCR and Epic Arena, and we're going to talk to him a little bit about those things. And first, just let me know about how you got started in obstacle racing.
Well, Joel, I was living in Atlanta at the time and heard about Tough Mudder and Spartan from a lot of my friends who work for the police department and whatnot, some other friends in the military, and it really interested me all the camaraderie and the teamwork and the the sportsmanship that everyone had. And I just signed up for a Tough Mudder. It was Tough Mudder Georgia, ran it. William Gates Jr. Actually outran me by about 7 or 8 minutes. I didn't come in first, but I didn't come in last. So I just was hooked from that moment on. Tough Mudder's been a big influence in everything I do. Like I said, with the camaraderie and with the friendship portion of it, at least. And that's pretty much it. I've just been running races, loving it.
Awesome. And then So how did that evolve into the Epic Arena? Was it a group of people or people that you met or people that you already knew that really kind of got this idea that they wanted to do something even bigger?
Well, that's what it was, Joel. We had all been friends on different pages and whatnot, and just started coming up with ideas, and it just kind of blossomed from there. I had never met, John Paul Jones or Tim or Ryan, any of the other guys, but I had met, I had met Audrey. I had met Jun Young Pak, obviously winner of the world's toughest mudder for 2 years in a row. Very impressed with his performance, and of Audrey's as well. Both very, very, very good athletes, even though they say they're not.
I don't know how you can win twice and be like, oh, I'm not a great athlete.
Yeah, no, Jun Young's he's a very humble guy, and I shook his hand. He passed me. He actually lapped me, and I just said congratulations to him. And he just kind of, it was kind of like, I think it blew me off for a second, but then I got to thinking about it. He's in his zone, he's doing his thing. But when he finished 24 hours later, shook his hand and spoke with him for a little while, and just very, very humble guy, just really down to earth, very professional. I've just been very impressed by him the entire time. So, of course, Audrey ran as well, and Michael Sandercock ran, but I didn't know Michael at the time. Just kind of got to know him over the last year and a couple of months or so, but very impressed with everyone.
Well, I'm definitely looking forward to what you guys do with that. Now, also, you're involved in Ultra OCR. Tell me a little bit about that.
Okay. Well, Ultra OCR is kind of the... I started a couple of years ago just looking around at just what was out there. And no disrespect to anyone, Spartan, Tough Mudder, Rugged Maniac, all these races, they're great. They all have something they all have great aspects to them and great attributes. It's just I looked at it and saw that something's missing. The 3 mile, the 5 mile, we're getting 10, 12 mile. We have a 26-mile race, which is the Ultra Beast. But I see a group of people, thousands of people, hundreds and thousands of people that want to go further. They want to kill themselves, and I mean, this is great. I mean, I'm the same way. You say, here's 50 miles, go do this. Of course, I'm not going to be the fastest person in the world, but, I just see this group of people wanting to do more and go further and just get out there and do as much as they can. And it just kind of fell into place a couple of years ago. So.
Now, do you have any events kind of slated at this point, or what's your goal to get something put together?
Well, the first event I'm planning in Georgia of 2014. I'm trying to get March. I'm looking at a couple of places right now. Of course, motorsports parks. I'm just working on the details right now. But the first event I'm planning on March of 2014. The second event April in Pennsylvania. So we're kind of treading the waters right now. We've got great investors. There's people that are really, really, really wanting to push this, and they want to see this go far. So I'm not like with Nike or Reebok or anything like that. Spartan, of course, got Reebok. That was a great. By the way, that was great to find out today. Amazing. I'm really happy for them.
Yeah.
But the investors that are involved are really wanting to push this forward and really wanting to go. So.
That's great. Now, how would it compare to like the survival run going on in Nicaragua?
Well, the survival run, I've looked at it a couple of times. I've seen several of my friends, Joel Gadd, obviously, Amanda, a lot of the people that I know are getting involved in it. I haven't looked at the details of the race. It's not that it's not interesting to me. It's just that I'm just not geared towards the survival type run. I'm wanting to do the longer distances, of course, and longer times and whatnot. But I really haven't looked that much into it. It looks interesting, but I just haven't even clicked on the little tab yet. I know it shows a little island, but I just haven't clicked on it yet. So.
Yeah. So it seems like with that one, the survival run, you're thinking it's kind of more of a like a ultra trail plus some obstacles, but also very self-supported, almost like an adventure race. Is that what you're thinking?
Correct. That's kind of how I think of it. But like I said, I really haven't clicked on the tab to look into details. It looks very interesting, Well, I've just been really, really busy with work and trying to develop this and develop my own personal company as well. So.
And then, okay, so then how does Ultra OCR, like, what's the big differentiator there? You said you want to go really long, which seems like what they want to do, and then you're going to have, like, how many obstacles do you think you'll have within that long distance?
Right, well, with the 50-mile race, I'm looking at 65 obstacles. And the thing I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get away from all the mechanical, trying to get away from all the wood and the fire and the electricity, and bring it back more towards nature, which I think, I was in the military, obviously, and, in the military, we do have confidence courses and whatnot, and there are obstacles, but, excuse me, they rely a lot on nature, to make the hills really hard, to try to blend as much nature into it as absolutely possible, and that's what we're trying to do. We've got several people working on obstacle design right now that have really crazy, insane ideas, and that's one of the things, and no respect to any of the other races out there, but they all seem to kind of copy each other. They all have they all have water, they all have mud, they try to dabble with each other back and forth, electricity and fire and whatnot. I want to put things into place that people haven't seen before. Yeah. So that's where that's going.
Cool. Any little inside scoop on maybe like an idea that just to give us an example of something like that?
Sure. Look at Spartan and look at Tough Mudder. And like I said, I'm not trying to take anything from them or or steal anything from them. They're both great races and both great series. But look at taking some of their obstacles and just making multiples of them. So you're taking one obstacle and making it what's the word I'm looking for? Just adding to it, making it so much bigger, so much. I can't get the word out I'm trying to say it, but I can't think of it right now.
Like grandiose or, I'm
trying to think of what would be the right way to put it.
And don't worry, I can.
Obstacles stacked on each other. Really, literally, that's really what it is.
Yeah.
It's just, it'd be like taking, and like I said, I'm not trying to take anything from TM to Tough Mudder, but taking, say, Everest and putting Turd's Nest right on top of it. Can you follow what I'm saying?
Sure, yeah.
Huger and more exaggerating it, just making it tough, physically hard. So.
Yeah. Cool. Well, yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing everything that you do with that, and I appreciate your time with being on the show with me here this evening. And what's your next race coming up? Are you doing anything in the near future?
I'm actually doing a Go Ruck the 26th, which is 9 days away. So it's Go Ruck in Colorado Springs. I have Cadre Joel, and he's gonna really beat us up and make a supper. Obviously for a good bit of time. So, but after that, I think I have Eric Delahay's event that's on March the 30th, a 12-hour. I never can say the name of the park. I've been up there a couple times and ran with him, but Wishishakan, I believe that's the pronunciation.
Yeah, I don't. You got me.
Yeah, that's it. But I have his Tough Mudder here in Avon, Colorado. I'm trying to run a couple of Spartans this year. Again, see what that brings for me. Like I said, I'm not going to go out to try to beat Hobie Call or anything like that. But that guy's a beast. I don't even leave that alone. But I think I got 24 events slated for this year. Some of them are smaller things, but some of them are well known. Obviously, on my birthday, I'm turning 42. I'm going to attempt to run Pikes Peak Marathon 4 times in 24 hours.
Oh, wow.
So that's going to be kind of it's going to kill me, I'm sure. So, a glutton for pain and punishment, I think that's the best way to describe me.
Is that even logistically possible? Like, what kind of pace do you have to run to do that?
Actually, back in October, I ran it close to 3 times in 24 hours. I was 2 and 9/10 times running up and back, and it sucked. It hurt a lot. I bowed out gracefully. The mountain kicked my butt. I mean, it really hurt. So
yeah, I've driven up Pikes Peak a couple times in a car, and I could barely breathe. So I don't know how you did that.
It's just sheer guts and determination. You just keep running, and just the people with you, just get somebody to run one lap with you, then somebody to run another lap with you, and there's going to be several people coming up this time. I think there's a group of 15 right now that we've got signed up, but it's called Pikes Peak Part 2.
Yeah.
And 24-hour Part 2. It's going to be a pretty cool event. So.
Very cool. Well, we'll look for that too. So. All right. Well, thanks again for joining me this evening. And so this is Daniel McCurdy, and I appreciate you being on the show.
No, absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Daniel, for being on the show. And thanks again for Damien of Mud Run Fun. Next up on this week's WOD Hacker segment is grip strength. You may not have problems with your grip, but when it comes to doing monkey bars and ropes and things like that, you could always be a little stronger. So let's check it out. Grip strength. It's important. So one of the first things you can do to improve grip strength is get one of these awesome little things. It's called the Powerball Gyroscope. Check it out. I'll post some links. Basically, it's got these powerful gyroscopes inside that when spinning resist the movement. So once you get it started, you kind of have to work into it a little bit. You can kind of hear that, but it resists. You can do it on your fingertips. And switch hands. Climbers use these to help with their grip strength, and these things are crazy awesome. But hey, maybe you don't have a bunch of money to go around buying special gadgets. So what I've decided to do for you, show you an old school way to make a nice grip strength. You just get a stick, a round rod. It could be a piece of wood. It doesn't even have to be round. But all you're gonna do is need to be kind of long, and then you just get your rope on here. It doesn't even have to be all that secure. You could drill a hole if you felt like it, but it doesn't, like I say, it doesn't have to be perfect. But once you get it on there pretty snug where it's not going to move, then you go down to the other end, and we can just cut this because it's not a good piece of rope that I need. You can start with a sharper knife. Okay, so now you've got your rope, and you've got your stick, and you just need to tie it onto a weight. This doesn't have to be any kind of special knot, it just has to hold the weight. So a quick little bowline or a square knot, any old knot that'll hold this weight on. I'm going to do 10 pounds here. You can do pretty much any weight you want, dumbbell or a flat plate. It doesn't even matter. And then basically all you do is jack it up. Once you get it going, get your weight up, and then you let it back down. Nice and easy. You can turn it the other way. So now it's kind of a reverse of the muscles that you were using before. And already, with just that 10 pounds, my forearms are starting to burn. Get it up, and then roll it back down. And that's it, that's grip strength. You'll be able to hold on to any bar or rope, monkey bars, Hercules haul, Tyrolean pole, anything that you're going to be using your hands. Pull-ups, it's it's going to be much stronger after doing this 2 or 3 times a week. So that's grip strength. So that was WOD Hacker for this week, grip strength. Anytime you find yourself lacking when it comes to monkey bars, pull-ups, pulling on ropes, anything that involves grip, I think just doing those exercises 2 to 3 times a week is going to help you out with your grip and keep you going strong through any obstacle challenge that you might have. So I want to thank my guests for this week, Damien at Mud Run Fun and Daniel McCurdy from Epic Arena and Ultra OCR. We'll see you all next week, and in the meantime, you got to ask yourself, do you feel muddy, punk? Well, do you? I'm Dirty Getty signing off, and this is Inside Obstacle News.